It's 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. This is 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building, nigga. Beers, braids, and boots, even though I got a bald head, long nose. Pistol, I feel that bitch with bald heads, all prank. Tissue pulling out that boy's head. Shit's chopped. Looking like a bulls at a street fight, 2 hands faster than the Honda. You don't want no problems, roll up on you like Blanca. 1 West, that's the mantra. Red hairband with a spray gun like Contra. Check your attitude, the gear stretch, longitude, the latitude. Come on. I'm a priest, bitch, so some fucking gratitude. Could tell I'm 1 West by the way I walk, way I talk. 125th straight New York. Ballin', nigga. And I'ma rep it to the death of me. I die for the guy on the right or the left of me. You turn into beast mode, I turn into priest mode. Get to knocking niggas out like Craig for sticking their deep vote. It's 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. This is 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building, niggas. Hardcore, men at war. I just follow Captain Yachty, with him I go. I might lose my shit, for him I blow, and get to picking niggas off through that one I scope. We got a garment down to the foot, girdle around the paps, not a scuff on the boot. Yeah. You niggas try and look tough and look cute while we rock rough and stuff until you're stuffing loose. Been held back too long, now we busting loose, breaking down the barriers, this destructive truth. I was talking to a dumb nigga rhyming, he said we the Israelites, that's no denying. I said yeah, but you ain't in compliance, you trying to be Kyrie, I'm trying to be General Muhammad. That's right. It make me want to break a nigga's spine and do what a doc can't even fucking realign him. I get a nigga to get a nigga on consignment. It's 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. This is 1 West, 125th. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building. In the building. They let the priests in the building, nigga. This the truth, this the home. Home of the truth. When niggas ain't gotta roam. Yeah. When niggas ain't gotta die alone. Put a nigga on both sides, you ain't gotta die alone. Be like, that nigga deader than a motherfucker. I brought my sword back wetter than a motherfucker. Fuck the turtles. I'm shredded like a motherfucker in this gym trying to get shredded like a motherfucker. The loose can and the firebomb. Everything on this gun custom like a Diawana. Call it Wanyala. The Kwa, Rasan, the Makia, Yahaja, Malakati, Yaganan. Let's go! They let the priests in the building, nigga, waking up on people. Even when we chillin', nigga, fuck them fake camps. Better get with the realer niggas. For Christ come back and say, kill them niggas! All right, clap it up. Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General Yohana. This is ISUPK Austin Tuesday Brotherhood class, all right? Brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon. Brotherhood and sisterhood is the weapon that we are going to lean on to rise from up under our oppressor's thumb. We can't do it alone. We have to do it together. Okay, so we have to come together. That's why the Bible orders it. All right, somebody give me that. It's Zephaniah 2 and 1.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
No, stay apart.
Gather yourselves together.
Do your own thing.
Gather yourselves together.
It's my life.
Gather yourselves together.
The Bible says, gather yourself together. Okay? Continue reading.
Come out of the con. Yea, gather together. Oh, nation not desired.
The nation's not desired. That's who's supposed to gather together. You know who's not desired? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are not desired. All right? That's why we are last hired and first fired. That's why we are living in the ghettos, in the barrios, all right, on reservations, all right. That's why we are low-income neighborhoods, all right? Because we are the ones who are not desired. So all of us who are not desired, who are at the bottom, who are actually God's people, we need to come together. We need to come together because we need brotherhood and sisterhood. You might need food. Y'all get on, this brother brings food every Tuesday. That's brotherhood. Because brothers are hungry. All right? They're starving. You know? Okay? You might need a place to sleep. You might need a ride. You know, you might need some kind of help. And you need to be able to lean on your brothers and your sisters. Read that again from the top for you.
Out of verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, gather together. All nation not desired.
If you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to gather yourself together. All right? Because you can't do it alone. All right? Hey, can you get the scripture up there? All right, yeah, go get him. All right. So we got to understand gathering together is it's imperative. It's something that we just have to do. And give me Hosea 4 and 6. Because this is why we don't gather together. This is exactly as a people why we don't come together. Because of this.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people.
Who?
My people.
What?
My people.
Everybody.
My people.
Nah, you see, that's possessive. What y'all ladies like to say? That's my man. Bro, they love to say that. That's very possessive. Okay? The Lord has a people. Hey, you need help over here. The Lord has a people, okay? And the Lord is saying, my people. The Lord's people. Continue reading.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Or what?
Are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
You see, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know, these people out here be thinking they have all the high science, right? They got their head in the stars. They think they can tell you everything about something that they absolutely can't have no clue about. You ain't never been out there, so you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, they think they got all this high science, all this knowledge. But the Lord says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Continue reading.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee.
And that's why we rejected. That's why we're at the bottom today. Because we rejected the knowledge of the Most High. The knowledge of the Most High is a very powerful weapon. Because you know what to do. You know how to move. All right? Having the knowledge of the Most High, it can absolutely save your life. You can live safely. You can dwell safely because you'll know what not to eat. You know what foods not to put in your body. So you don't have to worry about getting diabetes. You don't have to worry about high blood pressure. You don't have to worry about gout. You don't have to worry about your legs swelling up to the size of your head because you're putting the right things in your body. All right? If you know what to do, if you have the knowledge of the Most High, then it will help you. It will work as a benefit. All right, continue reading.
I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
And since we forgot the laws of our God, we didn't have no priests. But them priests came back into the world in 1969 through the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. All right? Understand that. All right? Continue reading.
I will also forget thy children.
Forget thy who?
Thy children.
Forget thy children. Continue reading.
Verse 7.
Oh, no. That's the end of that. And also forget thy children. Our children are forgotten. You know how I know? You know how I know that since we rejected the Most High, that the children were forgotten? Because I wasn't born in the truth. My father don't know a damn thing about the truth. My great-grandfather didn't know nothing about the truth. So I had a bunch of generations that forgotten the laws of God, that rejected the laws of God. And those children were forgotten. My children weren't born in the truth. Go ahead, Yagana.
It says destroy for lack of knowledge. So basically, pretty much all of us came up in the Christian church or Catholic church, Pentecostal, it's all the same thing. That has nothing to do with the Bible. So We came up in the Christian church, the law is done away with. We do whatever we want to do, and we only religious on Sundays. But from Monday through Saturday, we just doing whatever. Saturday night, we on a stripper pole or out at the club, but Sunday we in church. So, I mean, that's being destroyed. Just pass on to your kids. So, if your parents don't know, guess what? The kids don't know either.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, because we are just so destroyed. In Christianity, it teaches you to sin, because when you're a Christian, you're allowed to mold the Most High. All right, sir. You're allowed to mold the Most High to how you want him to be. When you're a Christian, God is who you say he is. And that's just not how it works. And we are destroyed because we say the law is done away with. The law is exactly what keeps the Most High to us, looking out for us, protecting us. So without the laws, all right, we don't have that protection. In Christianity, it teaches you how to be a sinner. All right. Let me see if I want to get any more scripture before I get into this article. Yeah, get the Maki. He need to come do. He got to come do this job.
What do we got?
I got Amos 1:6. Because tonight's title is we are seeing the prophecies of the Bible. Okay, that's what we are today. We are seeing it happen. We are witnessing prophecy coming true. We are witnessing steps that are necessary, that have to be set up for Christ's return. You see, we all want Christ to return, but you got to know what comes with Christ's return. It's not going to be something that's just so pretty, but it still will be glorious, if you understand. All right, go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for the transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive. So, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Verse 7. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza.
I will send fire. What? I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza. That's happening today. Oh, they're getting bombed and missile strikes and all kind of. I seen one, the lady, the Palestinian, she was like lost her son the last month. He was like 10 years old, and then the next month lost her daughter to these bomb strikes. Like, so they are feeling it. They are feeling the fires upon their walls. Go ahead.
It's like, so it's so crazy because they keep saying Israel's Iron Dome is penetrated by the missiles of Iran. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is happening. This is the Bible. Continue reading.
Come on, come. Now I will set a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Verse 8. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod, and him that holds the scepter from Ashkelon. And I will turn my hand against Ekron, and the remnant of the Philistines shall perish, saith the Lord God. Verse 9. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant.
Continue reading.
Verse 10. I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom.
Of who?
Of Edom.
We know who Edom is, right?
Come.
No, they're the Edomites. Continue reading.
For 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
You see, his wrath is forever. Read that part one more time, Read that part. Read that. No, read that whole thing one more time about Edom. This is something that you have to understand because you believe they're your friends. You and Billy love LeBron James. Oh, y'all just talk about LeBron James all goddamn day. Oh, yeah, you just love him, and you just he can jump so high and he can dunk. Susie, y'all love Susie. Oh, while you drinking that coffee, she whipped out that pumpernickel bread, and you just this is delicious. She got you changing the way you. This is delicious. What's that, cinnamon, nutmeg? You want to know? And so you think Susie's your friend because she's bringing you that fire. I gotta eat him. He always says, "Man, you don't eat nothing." He offers me something every day. He's been doing it for years. Okay, been doing it for about 6 years. He offers me something every day, but I'm like, no, I don't want it. And you're not gonna buy me. He kind of like tries to buy people with his snacks and all that, but I don't eat that. I don't eat none of that crap. So I don't want it. Okay. So they're not your friends. So, and listen to this so you can understand. Go ahead.
Come will come. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
See, he's not going to turn away that punishment thereof, because Obadiah, it says that they're going to be cast off forever for the violence against thy brother Jacob. All right, continue reading.
Because he did pursue his brother.
He did what?
Sword. He did pursue his brother with the sword.
He pursues us with the sword still to today. Okay, continue.
And did cast off all pity.
They don't have no pity. They don't have no compassion. They don't have no empathy for you. They don't have any of those things for you. They cast off all pity. Continue reading.
Come. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
See, and it's perpetual, mean it's ever going. That's why it says he kept his wrath forever. He still hates you today. He's running the damn world, and he hates you, who live in the ghetto, who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. You live in his projects, okay? You live on his streets, in his towns, and he hates you. He still has a perpetual hatred for you because it's going to last forever, okay? They are not your friends. You got to understand, these are your enemies. The Bible says so. Continue reading.
Will come, verse 12. But I will send a fire upon some men, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Verse 13. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of the children of Ammon, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have ripped up the women with child of Gilead, that they might enlarge their border.
Continue reading.
Verse 14. But I will kindle a fire in the wall of Rabbah, and it shall devour the palaces thereof, with shouting in the day of battle, with a tempest in the day of the whirlwind.
So this is all talking about like destroying, like nations and their cities. All right, continue reading. You got a question? Oh, that's what.
So like it's a Gilead.
Gilead. We can look that up. It's a nation. Yeah. Here, I'll look it up. Yeah, these are just talking about like cities and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a region. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what Gilead is. All right, verse 15.
Verse 15. And their king shall go into captivity, and his princes together, saith the Lord.
So all these nations, they cities, they're going to be destroyed. And these people, they're going to go into captivity. It said, and their kings should go into captivity. He, meaning the kings and his princes, his powers, his governments, his bodies, his officials. They're going to go. Give me Psalms 146:3, and then we'll get to the article. Or actually, we'll keep. Yeah, we'll keep going, then we'll get to the article. All right, go ahead and read that.
Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 146, verse 3. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man.
You see, put not your trust in princes, not in their powers, in their governments. Okay, you don't put it in Joe Biden. Okay, you don't put it in Kamala Harris. You put your trust in Trump, nor the Son of Man. You don't put your trust in people. All right, when this is saying the Son of Man, it ain't talking about Christ. Understand that, all right? But you don't put your trust in man. Don't put your trust in the men and women in power, and don't put your trust in these men. You have to put your trust in the Most High, your faith in the Most High. All right? Drop that. Give me Genesis 41 and 30. I want to show y'all something that's very important.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine.
All right, hold on. Let me give some context real quick. All right. So this is of Joseph. Remember, Joseph was in the land. Pharaoh had a dream. All right. The dream terrified him. So he explained the dream to Joseph, and Joseph interpreted the dream. So he told him there would be 7 years of plenty, and then 7 years of famine. And see, this is why this story is so important, and that why we must know it, because if the Lord is with you, he can give you a power that nobody else has. You see, he was wise because he wasn't destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Joseph had the knowledge of the Most High. And since he had the knowledge of the Most High, he was not even just able to survive, but to raise up and save his whole family that was still in Israel. Okay? Because we had to come from Israel to go to Egypt to get corn. And if it wasn't for the Most High being with Joseph and him having the knowledge and understanding and the ear of the Lord, basically, everybody would have perished everywhere. Okay? So that's what we're reading about now. Go ahead and start that again from the top, 41 and 30.
Come.
Let them know where you're at.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine,
Mm-hmm.
and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land.
You see, and this is what you need to watch out for now, because America is modern day Babylon and modern day Egypt. All right, the things that happened over there, it's going to be the things that happened over here. There's going to be plagues. It's going to be all the earthquakes, all everything that's going on. We could see it, and it's already have happened before. Continue reading. Oh, hold on. It said that 7 years of plenty, that's going to be forgotten. When times is good, they good. But when them bad times come, forget about them damn good times. When your stomach is touching your back, because you can't get a can of beans out the grocery store. Okay? And we're going to get into my article, because today is day one of the U.S. ports members going on strike. Okay? They're talking about it's going to cost America $5 billion a day. So what do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do to every market? What do you think it's going to do to the markets that are time sensitive? A lot of imports and exports, they're time sensitive. Have to be refrigerated. Have to be there by this time. There's a bunch of protocols. So if stuff is just sitting, I'll see somebody say that. They said everything is just sitting. If it's not moving, then it's not gonna make money. Okay? Continue reading. Verse 31.
Verse 31. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous.
Things are going to be very grievous. Like, we are at a time where, like it says, in 1 hour, that this place can fall. All right? They already have bricks. I got that article too. They already have bricks where they're trying to shatter and dismantle the U.S. dollar's dominance. Okay? And one of our one of our dollars or five of our dollars will equal one of their dollars. So just imagine if you got $1, you don't have nothing. Okay, you need $5 to have one of theirs. So continue reading.
Verse 32.
Go to 33.
Verse 33. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise.
Do what?
Let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise.
That's what Joe Biden's going to be doing. That's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be looking out for a man that is wise. Continue reading.
And set him over the land of Egypt. Verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land.
Let him do what?
And let him appoint officers over the land.
If America want to be saved, they better give Commander General Yohana the power so he can put officers over the land. So you can have somebody who the Lord is with, so everybody doesn't die from starvation. You know? Continue reading.
And take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Verse 35. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Verse 36.
You see that? To keep food in the cities, it's going to come a time where you're going to need an Israelite. You're going to need a man of God. Not Creflo Dollar, not T.D. Jakes, not none of them. You're going to need a real man of God to help you control so you don't just capsize. Because if you don't, Babylon is falling. Understand that. Continue reading.
And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
Yep.
Verse 36. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
You see? You wanted him to store that. He stored that up because of his knowledge. He was able to store that up, and they didn't have no problem in the land. They was good. They had food. Continue reading.
Verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants. Verse 38. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of God is?
You see? Joseph had the Most High with him. Okay? That's the man. That's the man that you want to be like. Continue.
Verse 39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God had shewed.
Yes, who?
For as much as God had shewed.
Joseph did it on his own accord.
For as much as God has shewed thee.
Joseph read a lot of books.
For as much as God has shewed thee.
Joseph went to the university.
For as much as God had shewed
God showed him. That's how he knew this. It was the Most High. It wasn't because he went and he just went and read all the he read the Book of the Dead. Okay, he read the 42 Confessions of Mayat. No, God gave him this knowledge. He didn't talk to Buddha, to Krishna, to Zeus, to none of them. The Most High God of Israel. That's who showed him. Continue reading, warrior.
For as much as God had shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
You see that? When you got the Most High with you, you are smarter than all of them. You know how many PhDs come up and get destroyed? They got all that PhD knowledge, but they don't got the knowledge of the Most High, so they are lost. Okay, continue reading.
Verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. And only in the throne will I be greater than
you. See, and he was raised up to the number 2 over Egypt because because of the wisdom that the Lord bestowed upon this brother. All right. He just was so different, all right, and had so much understanding that Pharaoh was like, I gotta put this cat directly under me, because he is going to make my land prosper. Okay, that's what the oppressor is going to try to do one day. He's going to try to do that, so he can prosper, so his nation doesn't fall. But the thing is, the Lord wants his nation to fall, so it's going to fall. Okay, continue reading.
Verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
Drop down to 54.
Verse 54. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
There was what?
There was bread.
You see, they was hurting everywhere else. But Egypt was good because Joseph. All right, because of Joseph, the Lord giving Joseph the understanding in the gift to interpret a dream. Continue reading.
Verse 55. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, go unto Joseph, what he said to you, do.
He told them, y'all better go to that Israelite cat over there, and whatever he tells you, you better do it. You better do it. He told them, yeah, are you hungry? Go to Joseph. Continue reading.
Verse 56. And the famine was over all the face of the earth.
And hold on. And not only was his wisdom that the Lord bestowed upon him efficient to sustain Egypt, you'll see over here he was able to sustain way more than just the land of Egypt. Continue reading. It's going to tell us right here.
Verse 56. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold.
He did what?
He opened all the storehouses.
He opened storehouses. He knew to save up for this famine. He was so wise at it that he had enough to make storehouses. If something happens right now, you're not going to have food in 2 days. We need the wisdom of the Most High so we can learn to be able to stack up a storehouse, so we can help our brothers and our sisters, so we can feed a nation, so everybody doesn't die. Go ahead.
Yeah, Christians don't realize that what happens affects everybody. They just think it's not going to be them. Even when the coronavirus came, they didn't have answers. They didn't have a clue. I remember my aunt, she would go to church on Sunday. They would go to the church. The preacher would be outside with a damn mask on.
Yep.
They sit in cars with a damn mask on. If they pass on the damn bucket. If they pass on, the bucket got to go around.
Yeah, they don't care about Corona when it comes to passing that bucket. Oh, they going to pass that bucket. They don't give a damn if you cough in their face, as long as you cough in that bucket. As long as you cough up them dollars in that bucket, they don't give a damn. Continue reading.
And Joseph opened up all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt.
Yep. Continue reading.
Verse 57. And all countries came into Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
That's what the Lord can do for you. The Lord can make you so great that you saved everybody. Joseph saved the world, the earth, because the Lord gave him the gift to interpret a dream. Okay, don't just go to anybody to get your dreams interpreted. Go to a prophet of God. Go to a real priest and prophet of God and get your dream interpreted so you could have the right answer. Because if that king would have if Pharaoh would have went to anybody else and got that dream interpreted, everybody would have perished. the famine would have took over and everybody would have perished. Let me get my first article. The U.S. ports. Let me stop presenting, and then present, and then find, and then tap the article. Aziala. Oh yeah, y'all got it. All right.
You want to read?
Yeah. Do y'all need this? Do you need this? I can look at the screen. Do you want the paper? It's clear for you to see. All right, go ahead.
Tens of thousands of dock workers have gone on strike indefinitely at ports across much of the U.S., threatening significant trade and economic disruption ahead of the presidential election and the busy holiday shopping season.
You see, these workers they're going on strike. All right, they're saying, the hell with you. You're going to have to pay us, and you're going to have to pay us a lot for the work that we do. Okay, and they said this is going to be threatening. It says threatening significant trade and economic disruption. That's what is going to happen, right? That's what this kind of thing breeds, and we're going to find it right in the Bible coming up here later. All right, and it says they're making a disruption ahead of the busy holiday, the presidential election, and the busy holiday season. Continue reading. I don't know if y'all got to turn it up or just talking to the mic a little louder.
Members of the International Longshoremen's Association walked out on Tuesday at 14 major ports among the East and Gulf Coast, halting container traffic from Maine to Texas.
Yeah, from Maine to Texas. That's everywhere. That's from the bottom to the top. Okay? These ports are being shut down. All right? From Maine to Texas. Okay? Because there's a big port in Houston. All right? Continue reading.
The action marks the first such shutdown in almost 50 years.
Yeah, and they're saying that because there was a shutdown before, but it was just a couple West Coast ports. That's nothing like what's happening right now as we speak. All right, continue reading.
President Joe Biden has the power to suspend the strike for 80 days for further negotiations, but the White House has said he is not planning to act.
He's not planning to do a damn thing. He doesn't even know what to do. He just dropped out of the race. All right, he could soften the blow by making them pushing it out 80 more days so they could come up with an agreement. But Joe Biden doesn't give a damn about the American people. He doesn't give a damn about import and exports because he's about to check out. He doesn't give a damn about what's about to happen. Continue reading.
Article Khan, what is the strike about?
Mm-hmm.
Talks have been stalled for months, and the current contract between parties expired on Monday.
Yep. So them contracts, I believe they'd be going in like 6-year increments, but the contract is expired, and they want their due justice. Okay, go ahead.
The White House said that President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were monitoring the strike closely.
They're monitoring the strike closely, but it just said that they ain't doing nothing at all. They plan, what did it say? Joe Biden has the power to suspend the strike for 80 days. It said, but the White House, he said, is not planning to act. So he's not planning to do nothing. But they're monitoring it closely. They don't give a damn. Continue reading.
I will come. The president has directed his team to convey his message directly to both sides that they need to be at the table and negotiating in good faith, fairly, and quickly.
Continue reading.
Out of a gun. The two sides are fighting over a 6-year master contract that covers about 25,000 port workers employed in container and roll-on or roll-off operations, according to the U.S. Maritime Alliance, known as USMX, which represents shipping firms, port associations, and marine terminal operatives.
So that's what this is about. This is about these contracts. All right, continue reading.
Come out of a con. On Monday, USMX said it had increased its offers, which will raise wages by almost 50%, triple employees' contributions to pension plans, and strengthen healthcare options.
So they said, hey, we'll raise it almost 50%. That's a lot. I ain't never got a 50% nothing and no slavery. You understand? Okay. They said that would triple employers' contributions to pension plans and strengthen healthcare options. So that sounds good, right? Let's continue and see. Let's see how they feel.
Union boss Harold Daggett has called for significant pay increases for his members, while voicing concerns about threats from automation. USMX has accused the union of refusing to bargain, filing a complaint with labor regulators that asked them to order the union back to the table.
You see, the union, they're tired. They be getting tired of being played with. Like when you under a union, they don't care. They'll put you on strike and you just be sitting at home. I believe they still get paid, right? Y'all can on the union, it depends.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, but trust me, they gonna pay them.
Yeah, they gonna have to pay them because this is shutting down the ports. Damn, boy, you was here? You was here the whole time? God damn. All right. Continue reading.
Under previous contracts, starting wages ranged from $20 to $39 per hour, depending on workers' experience. Workers also receive other benefits, such as bonuses connected to container trade.
So now they're saying that they're trying to pay them. They're trying to negotiate. They're trying to give them 50%. They're saying, but the union won't come to the table and do no negotiating with them. Continue reading.
Mr. Daggett has indicated the union wants to see per hour pay increase by $5 per year over the life of the 6-year deal, which he estimated amounted to about 10% per year. The ILA said workers are owed after shipping firms' profits soared during the COVID pandemic, while inflation hit salaries. It has warned to expect a wider strike of its members, including those not directly involved in this dispute, though the stat numbers are unclear.
And you see, this is going to cause a chain reaction. Like, if the ports close, if we start losing money, all right, everything's going to start losing money, and it's going to be a domino effect. All right, continue reading.
The union has said it represents more than 85,000 people. It claimed about 47,000 active members in its annual report to the Labor Department.
Continue reading.
What items will be affected by the strike? Time-sensitive imports such as food are likely to be among the goods first impacted.
So your foods are going to be impacted. Things making it to the grocery stores, things that we depend on, okay? Things that you need. These things are going to be affected. And first, it's going to be the food. All right, continue reading.
The ports involved handle about 14% of agricultural exports shipped by sea and more than half of imports, including a significant share of trade in bananas and chocolate, according to the Farm Bureau. Other sectors exposed to the disruption include tin, tobacco, and nicotine. Oxford economics said clothing and footwear firms and European
Hold on. Clothing and what?
clothing and footwear firms.
No more mics. Guess y'all ain't going to get them new pair of mics. Yeah, I guess that ain't happening no more. Okay. It says food. It says the food, the clothing, the shoe, the footwear. Continue.
And European car makers, which route
Oh, no more foreigns. Go ahead, Tamakia. No more foreigns. Oh, you ain't pulling up on the block and no more foreigns.
Man, if people don't know the domino effect is real, can I give an example of how real it's been real?
Go ahead.
China's cargoes have been stuck for over 2 years.
Yep.
So now America's people are going on a strike because they figure out how can the product be more important than humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians has been saying this since we've been saying since.
For real. Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And that domino effect, man, it's going to be so treacherous because the people who suffer, of course, the most are the people at the bottom. Okay? It's going to be harder for you. If there's a food shortage, then whose communities do you think is going to get the food first? Okay? Who do you think is going to be benefiting? They're going to benefit before us. So we're going to have to learn how to do our own, to store our own food, to grow our own food, to do things of these natures. It's important to learn life skills, okay? Life skills could take you a long way. You never know when you're going to have to dig in your bag and pull out something that you was taught. All right, continue reading.
Which route many of their shipments through the port of Baltimore, will also take a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Imports in the U.S. surged over the summer as many businesses took steps to rush shipments ahead of the strike.
Continue reading.
I don't think we will see immediate significant.
What? Read that again.
I don't think we will see immediate significant economic impact.
Somebody give me Psalms 55 and 21. Is that what I want?
Where's what is what?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Read that again.
I don't think we will see immediate or significant economic impact.
So you don't think we're going to see immediate economic impacts, but you're saying it's going to cost America $5 billion a day. That seems like it's a significant economic impact. Okay, you're talking about us not having foods, us not having imports. All right, that seems like an economical problem. Give me don't you don't got to take the article off. Just give me Psalms 55 and 21 real quick. Yeah, Bob, is that my headpiece or what? I've been looking for one.
Book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
They're what?
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
That's why he's saying we don't think we'll see an immediate impact. You will. But it's what?
His words, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Hey, it's like, you give me like a paper towel or something? Yeah, continue.
Come. The war was in his heart.
Uh-huh.
His words were softer than oil.
Yep.
Yet were they drawn swords.
You see, you can never trust your enemy. Right. He over here telling you some nonsense that it won't. He's telling you in one hand, it's going to be $5 billion a day hit. And then he's going to say it doesn't make an immediate impact. That does make an immediate impact. All right. Now, continue reading with the article.
I don't think we will see immediate significant economic impacts. But over the course of weeks, if the strike lasts that long, we can begin to see prices rise and for there to be some shortages in goods, said Seth Harris, a professor at Northeastern University and former White House advisor on labor issues.
Weeks is immediate. I don't know if y'all understand, but weeks go by like that. Okay. He said, I don't think we're going to see an immediate impact, but if it goes on several weeks, well, what the hell? That's immediate. Continue reading.
Article Con. What will the economic impact be? More than a third of exports and imports could be affected by the strike, hitting U.S. economic growth to the tune of at least 4.5 billion each week of the strike.
Read that one more time.
Article Con.
Tell me that doesn't affect America economically again.
Article Con. More than a third of exports and imports could be affected by the strike, hitting U.S. economic growth to the tune of at least $4.5 billion each week of the strike.
All right, so $4.5 billion each week of the strike. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money lost. How do you think they're going to get that money back? They're going to try to get it off our backs by raising one bottle of water $15. Okay, you're going to be paying. All right, continue.
Article Con. According to Grace Zimmer, an associate U.S. economist at Oxford Economics, though others have estimated the economic hit could be higher.
You see, he was lowballing it, but others know it's going to be way more devastating than this. Go ahead.
Article Con. She said more than 100,000 people could find themselves temporarily out of work as the impact of the stoppage spreads.
Because if there's no exports, there's no need for you to do your job if there's no job for you to do. You see? This is the problem. This is the domino effect. This is the things, the conditions that's going to go on because of this. Like people are going to lose their jobs. And there's already going to be inflation. So if you're already broke and they raise the prices, how are you going to live? How are you going to survive? You're going to have to be going door to door, taking. Okay, continue reading.
Con. This is really a trigger event, one that will see dominoes fall over the coming months, said Peter Sand, chief analyst at Ocean Freight analytics firm Meta, warning that the standoff also has the potential push up wider shipping costs.
You see, it's going to widen the shipping costs. So it's going to cost more to get the exports here because we're not going to have all the resources that we had. All right, continue.
That would hit consumers and businesses which tend to rely on so-called just-in-time supply chains for goods, he added.
Damn. You see, the consumer and the businesses, they're going to take a hit because they're not going to be able to have the supplies come as needed. Continue.
How could this affect the U.S. election? The standoff marks the first time since 1977 that the ILA has gone on strike and injects uncertainty into the U.S. economy at a delicate time. The economy has been slower and the unemployment rate is ticking higher as the U.S. election approaches in 6 weeks.
Uh-huh.
The strike risks putting President Biden in a tricky spot.
Continue.
U.S. presidents can intervene in labor disputes that threaten national security or safety by imposing an 80-day cooling off period, forcing workers back on the job while negotiations continue.
See, that's what he could do. He has the power to do that, to force them back at work and let the negotiations, continue. Continue.
In 2002, Republican President George W. Bush intervened to open ports after 11 days of a strike action by dock workers on the West Coast, who are represented by a different union. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Business Group has called on President Biden to take action. Americans experienced the pain of delays and shortages of goods during the pandemic era supply chain backlogs in 2021. It would be unconscionable to allow a contract dispute to inflict such a shock to our economy, said Suzanne P. Clark, President and Chief Executive of the business group. The ILA's Mr. Daggett endorsed Democrat Biden in 2020, but has been critical of the president more recently, citing pressure on West Coast dock workers to reach a deal a year ago. He met with Donald Trump in July. Although any strike chaos is likely to hurt Democrats, the cost of alienating allies in the labor movement just weeks before the election would be greater, said William Butcher, a professor of labor studies and employment relations at Rutgers University. But public support of strikes could be tested by the dispute, which has been championed by Mr. Daggett, who was acquitted of having links to organized crime in a 2004 case by federal prosecutors.
Good night. You see, they all in the mafia. These are mafiosos. Continue reading. You know the mafia and them unions. You know they got a long-standing history. All right, continue reading.
A related civil suit remains unresolved. Films such as the 1954 classic crime drama On the Waterfront, starring Marlon Brando, once defined the union's image, but Professor Butcher said he thought that historical memory had largely faded, and many people shared the dock workers' concerns about cost of living and automation.
And Marlon Brando. Y'all know who that is? Y'all know who Marlon Brando? That's who played The Godfather.
Oh,
That's Marlon Brando. Okay, that's they got a long withstanding history with the mafia and the union. Continue reading.
As much as it could sway public opinion against the ILA, a strike by ILA members is their decision. It's their decision, and I don't think they will be swayed by public opinion in any meaningful way, he said. What is more likely to happen is the pressure of a strike will likely force the employees back to the table with a much more substantial offer.
That's what it's about. They want more money. Okay, so that's what they is going to do. Okay, and that's why they are on this strike. But this strike is absolutely biblical, and that's what we got to understand. Okay, you can clip that article. Let's go back to the scriptures and let me get Luke 21 and 9. Hey, anybody got any questions though? I forgot to ask that at the beginning. All right, Most High in Christ. Luke 21 and 9.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
Yep, when you start hearing these word wars, all these commotions, the ports shutting down, all right, this happening, that happening, all these things going on the earth, okay? Just said it's not the end, okay? It said these are things that must first come to pass, but it's not yet the end. Continue reading.
Son, I will come, verse 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Mm-hmm. That's what you see happening. Nations are rising against nations, kingdom against kingdoms. BRICS wants to collapse the U.S. dollars. There are nations coming together to rise up against another nation. Continue.
Son, I will come, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places.
See, them earthquakes in diverse places, like not long ago, New York had an earthquake. New York gonna be getting earthquakes. That's earthquakes in diverse places. Continue reading.
And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places.
Uh-huh.
And famines.
And what?
And famines.
And what?
And famines.
And famines. You better start looking out for them famines, and you better prepare. Continue reading.
And pestilences.
Pestilences. What's pestilences?
Diseases.
Diseases. Continue.
And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven.
You're gonna know that this is God doing this. You're gonna know that this is God judging the earth. You're gonna know there's gonna be signs. These signs is when you see in empires fall, you know that's coming from the Most High. You know that's where that's coming from. All right. Give me the one in Matthew, and then I'll get the one in Mark. Matthew
24.
Is it 24 and 7 then?
Okay.
Go to that.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 24.
Oh, the trooper got
Verse
precepts.
7. For nation shall rise against nation,
Uh-huh.
and kingdom against kingdom,
Mhm.
and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yep.
Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
They're the what?
The beginning of sorrow.
You see all the stuff that's just happening? These are just beginnings of sorrows. It ain't even the bad. It ain't even bad yet. It's just the beginning of sorrows. Things got to get much worse. Continue reading. Yeah, continue reading.
Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you.
All right, we don't need that. Give me Mark 7. Guy Quad. 13 and 7. So like it.
Come. The book of Matthew. Wait. Is that what? Mark? So. 13. It's the book of Mark.
Go ahead and speak up. Quit trying to seduce the descriptions. It's not your rib.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars,
Mm-hmm.
be ye not troubled.
See, when you hear these wars and these rumors of wars, don't be troubled, because you got the Most High. You in the truth. You and ISUPK. All right? Don't be troubled. Just listen to what the men above are telling us, and we don't have to worry like the rest of the world, because we got answers. We can get the answers. We know what we need to do, and if we don't, we can make a call, and somebody can tell us what we need to do. So don't be troubled, because you in here, you in the truth. Continue reading.
Come. For such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation,
Yep.
and kingdom against kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places,
Yep.
and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows.
See those famines, these ports going down, and then you can't get no food. That's just the beginning of the sorrow. You know, you don't have to endure. You don't have to endure a little more, endure a little longer. Okay, but for your king, it will be worth it. All right, drop that and give me Romans 8 and 35. And Trooper Azayala, you hold 2nd Ezra chapter 16 for me.
Read.
Yes, when you got it, you can read that, warrior.
Come. That's the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?
Who shall separate you from the love of Christ? What has to come along to separate you from the love of Christ? That's what this is asking. What's going to separate us? What's going to make you fall off? What's going to make you forget your king? Continue.
Come. Shall tribulation.
Shall going through some tough times. That tribulation. Continue.
Come. Or distress.
Continue.
Or persecution.
Persecution? Going to jail? You being persecuted? Continue.
Come. Or famine.
Or famine. All right? This famine, this Bible talks about famine a lot because it's coming. Okay? Don't let a famine separate you from your brotherhood, your sisterhood. All right, from your king. Continue.
Or nakedness,
Mm-hmm.
or peril,
Uh-huh.
or sword.
Or sword. Don't let none of that come between you. It's gonna be some hard times. Gonna be some crazy things happening. But you remember who you serve. You remember you serve a king, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And since you serve that king, you better understand that you going to have to stick with him. You're going to have to tough it out. He who endured to the end, the same shall be saved. Go ahead, y'all.
2024, it was an all-time high of tornadoes. There's been more tornadoes in 2024 than it has ever been. I don't know if anybody noticed that or recognized that, but just in July it was 210. Just in July. They even had tornadoes in Canada, which is very rare. 210 just in July. Just one month. So, you know, like I said, they even had tornadoes in Canada, which is very rare.
Yep.
Nothing happens in Canada.
At all.
Yeah.
Except just it freezes, yeah. And that's what we're talking about. These things are happening in diverse places. Like this stuff is going on because those seals from Revelations are being opened up. And that's why these things are coming to the earth. Okay? All right. Let me get that. 2nd Ezra 16:1. You got it, Isaiah.
Come on. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe be unto thee.
Woe be unto thee. What is woe?
Destruction, sir.
Destruction. Destruction be unto thee. Go ahead.
Woe be unto thee, Babylon,
Mm-hmm.
and Asia.
Uh-huh.
Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Ouch. It look like it's covering some areas, right? Oh, we continue.
Verse 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair.
Yeah.
Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
Continue.
Verse 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?
Yep.
Verse 4. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?
The fire is set among you, and who's going to quench it? When this place falls in 1 hour and it becomes that lake of fire, who's going to quench it? Your firemen, your 9/11 firemen? Is that who's going to quench it? No. Continue reading.
Verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Verse 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn?
Yeah. What man could drive away a hungry lion? You in the woods with a lion. You over there looking like dinner. You think you could drive that away? All right, and what does it say? This is talking about these plagues that are sent to you, okay? It says, or if you start to burn that stubble, you know that stubble ignites like that, okay? All right, that stubble ignites where we at? Yeah, that's who could quench that stubble, that fire in that stubble when it begins to burn? The stubble is a little stuff you get to start the fire, and then you take that over to the fire. Like that stuff ain't going out. It's going to burn. All right, continue reading.
Verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. Verse 8.
Yeah, a strong archer pulling back and shooting that arrow. You're not turning that arrow around. You know that thing is coming. All right, continue.
Verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
See, who could drive the Lord's plagues? If it's of the Lord, there ain't nothing you could do about it, right? You think they're gonna be able to drive this away? Esau and his army, Esau in his chemistry, and all his high science, and all his astrophysicists. They're not going to be able to do a damn thing with this because this is going to be of the Lord. Continue reading.
Verse 9. A fire shall go forth from his...
Drop the 12.
Verse 12. The earth quaketh.
The what?
The earth quaketh.
Uh-huh.
And the foundations thereof. The sea arises.
Hold on. The earth quaketh. and the foundation thereof. We have earthquakes everywhere. Everybody is scared to be in California. They're scared to live there because they're just ready for it to fall into the sea. Okay? Now read that next part.
The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled.
You see? And it rises with the waves of the deep. Them waves, what do? Them waves did they just hit the coast? Then we just have hurricanes? Don't we have all this stuff all over the damn place? Like these things are happening. Continue reading.
And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also,
Mm-hmm.
before the Lord and before the glory of his power.
See, this is the Lord, and that's the glory of his power. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking about earthquakes, how the plates shift, and I don't know. I know lastly, you remember the tsunami that they had years ago, and so basically the plates shift and created a chain reaction. And can you imagine looking at a 100-foot wave, 100-foot wave? Man,
Yeah.
man, there ain't no getting away from that.
No, it is scary.
I mean, that's a hell of a judgment.
That's a hell of a judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, and I don't know if y'all ever seen big waves. I don't know if y'all ever been out there in the ocean. I've seen waves. I thought one was going to capsize us. It was standing up at least this goddamn high, okay? And then it came under the boat, and we just kind of went under it. But I thought we was going to. I don't know if any of y'all been in an earthquake. But an earthquake is one of the craziest things I ever been in. And the earth is really shaking. Everything is shaking. Your house is shaking. Pictures is falling off the wall. The roads are doing this, okay? And the earthquake I was in was pretty bad. And all the plates did was this. Like, those plates are still got to go like this and then come all the way back. And they was predicting that's when California is going to be off the fault line because it runs all the way up from Cali to where I'm from. Go ahead, sis.
I survived Hurricane Dorian. The Bahamas never had a shift of states until Hurricane Dorian. By the grace of God.
See? You see, like when you go through, the power of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever been through destruction, where I was born, we had a lot of tornadoes. You know what I mean? So I done experienced those too. So when you see the Lord and his power and his glory, it is scary. It's not fun. When the earth is moving and there's nothing you can do, you don't feel tough anymore. When the wind is coming through and it's knocking everything up and you got to go down into a cellar and hope nothing falls on it so you could get out when it's done, you don't feel powerful at all. Okay? Continue reading the scripture. Oh, no. Drop down to 18.
Verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Mm-hmm. Verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Verse 20. But for all 21. 21.
God.
Verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
See, that's what comes with this. Like, what comes with all this devastating things is great confusion. All right? There's going to be great confusion over the earth because you're not going to know where to turn to, especially when you put all your faith and all your love into your political leaders, and they don't care about you. They're not going to give a damn about you. Continue reading.
Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine.
You see? Continue.
And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Why do y'all think that? Why do y'all think it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish from famine, and the other that escape hunger shall the sword. Why y'all think it says that? Why, if you escape hunger, the sword awaits you. If there's a famine in the earth. Just think about it like this. He has food. Yeah, let us just answer. He has food. You don't.
I think it is you're not gonna escape the judgment in any form.
No, not that. Not that. Not that. Let me let Yakla first. Yeah, let me.
When you have something somebody else don't in a time like that, all you can do is try to gather their resources.
It's going to be the purge. You're going to be going door to door. Your baby's hungry, and you have a 9mm, and he has a can of beans. You're going to go up in there. Go ahead.
Yes, in that time, some people gonna have food. Those that don't have it shall be destroyed by the sword. Just like, you have so many single Christian women gonna be in those times where there ain't gonna be no man to protect. We're gonna stop anybody from coming in your house and taking everything and taking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen all over the earth. You already see it happening today. People are going door to door. Okay? It's going to be a time where it becomes very serious. Okay? And that's why if you in the truth, you can rely on your brothers. If you in here, you got protection. We protect ours. We protect ours in here. You got protection. You have a hedge. Okay? Now you out there, I don't know what you're going to do. But if you in here, we're going to protect our own. Go ahead, Officer Tamaki.
Like if I could give an example for how the Lord is with the ISUPK, we've been on multiple missions in level 4 cartel zones. We've been in the ghetto, the bayou, the valleys, and we able to feed and clothe and support our people. And we're gonna continue to do that until our King come back.
That's right. Damn right. Continue reading this out.
Verse 23. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. Verse 24. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. Verse 25. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? 26. The grapes shall ripen.
Drop to 31.
Come. Verse 31. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword.
Read that one more time.
Come. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword.
That's what are they searching for? What do you think they searching for? Think they searching for supplies, for resources. Okay? Continue reading.
Verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough.
Drop to 37.
Come. Verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. Verse 38. And when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
So this is what this is like, comparing it to like a woman giving birth. Continue.
Come. With 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Verse 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
You see, the whole earth is going to be affected. It's not just going to be one location. Like this is the things that have to happen for Christ to return are going to be detrimental to the earth. Okay? But it's necessary because we can't come up out of the ghetto without this happening. We can't get off of drugs without this happening. We can't come from up under our oppressive thumb without this happening. All right? Go ahead, Tamaki.
This is kind of out of topic, but I just want to bring something heavy that Commander Jay Hunter said that the prophecies will be fulfilled.
Yeah, give him the mic. Yeah.
Let me get Joel chapter 3, verse 9. If y'all want to read this. Yeah, I had to read it up for class. Check out. What y'all read?
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Yep.
Prepare war.
Prepare what?
Prepare war.
Prepare peace.
Prepare war.
Prepare love and happiness.
Prepare war.
Prepare God loves everybody.
Prepare war.
Prepare people as people.
Prepare war.
Prepare war. That's why we are preparing for war every day. Because the Lord said to do what?
Prepare war.
Continue.
Come. Wake up the mighty men.
Wake up who?
The mighty men.
We got to wake up the mighty men. That's why we out here trying to wake up all our brothers and tell them, come home to the truth. So we can wake up the mighty men of Israel. Continue.
Come. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords.
Do what?
Beat your plowshares into swords.
You got a shovel, you better sharpen it. You got a hoe, or you better sharpen it. Okay? Go ahead.
Come. And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
That's what you got to do. You got to gird your loins. There's more on that? Go ahead.
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together.
You see, that's what's happening. Like with all these wars, all these heathens are going to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and that's what's happening. Christ's enemies are going to be all gathered in one place, so he could just come and hit them all at once. Go ahead.
Come, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yep.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to join. They're going to come all there for their wars. Oh, and then they're going to meet the real war. And Christ is going to judge them all. They're going to be all judged right there. All right, that's it on that? All right, let's get back to where we was. Most High in Christ, yep. Because that's what's going to happen, okay? We can start about 40, I believe.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. Verse 42.
Hold on, read that again.
Come. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose.
All right, continue.
Verse 42. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it.
He what?
He that occupieth merchandise, as he hath no profit by it.
That's what happens when them ports shut. You got the merchandise, ain't nobody buying it. You ain't making no profit of it. It ain't gonna move nowhere. Continue.
Come. And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. Verse 43. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planted the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes.
You see, you're going to plant, you're going to do all these. You're not going to gather that. You're not going to get no gain off of your work. Okay. Let me get 47.
Come, verse 47. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. Verse 48. the more will I be angry with them for their sins, saith the Lord.
All right, now we got to get to Revelation. Let's hurry up. Get to Revelations 18. We'll start at 2.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
You see, that's what this is. This is a melting pot. All kind of heathens here, all kind of foul spirits, all kind of just nasty, filthy, disgusting things going on every day. Continue reading.
Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her
You
fornication.
see, all nations have drunk of her wine, of the wrath of her fornication. All these nations have been in the bed with America. All of them. Continue reading.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Mm-hmm.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
You see, in them doing business and commerce and putting a chicken spot in your neighborhood, and a nail shop in your neighborhood, an African hair braiding shop in your neighborhood, you know, they are wax rich off of these things. They are getting rich off of you. Continue reading.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
You see, you got to come up out of her. You got to come up out of her ways, her philosophies, her religions, all her systems that are in play, or you're going to suffer the plagues that she suffers. You will suffer with the enemy if you make yourself an enemy unto Christ. Continue reading.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
You see, her sins, the sins of America, is so heavy, it have reached up. All the crimes they did to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians right here, okay? Just right here, all right? Those sins have reached up to heaven. Continue reading.
Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works.
They will pay. Continue reading.
In the cup which she hath filled to her double.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
You know, because they're so puffed up and pompous, they don't believe nothing can happen to them. That's why they go and invade any country that they want and do whatever the hell they want. Continue reading.
Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
They're going to see it. They're going to be in their land. They're going to be seeing it all over the news, like we see what's going on all over the news. They're going to see it burning to the ground. Okay? They're going to bewail her. They're going to lament her. They're going to cry because they know that they're not going to be able to have no trade and export with them. Continue reading.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour.
For how long is it going to take?
For in 1 hour.
Nah, a long time.
For in 1 hour.
A couple days.
For in 1 hour.
A year.
For in 1 hour.
For in 1 hour what?
Is thy judgment come.
This place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. All of America. An hour. Some of us can't even make it home in a damn hour. And America is going to be destroyed. Continue reading.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver.
So it says no man's going to buy her merchandise anymore. Read.
The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk, and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble.
Okay. So we talking about that. We talking about those materials. Let's see what else.
And cinnamon, and odors.
No more cream of wheat. This is cinnamon. Good night. Continue.
And odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
All right, so you see all this stuff, and then when we read in Ezra, it said no tobacco, no nicotine. Over here, it's saying no wine. You know, all these addicts, they're going to go crazy. It's a magic. You think it's going to be a good? It's going to be hell. There's people that'll kill somebody if they can't have a cigarette. If they can't have a cigarette every 2 minutes, they're going to strangle their boss. You know? Continue reading.
Verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly and departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
You ain't going to find these things no more at all. They're not going to be accessible. Okay? That's everything. That is the ports closing. Okay? I don't think I need no more of that. I got it all the way down, but I don't need no more of that. No questions? Can you check online, Tamaki, just to see what the chat look like?
No, I don't think there's nothing.
I don't think there's none in there too, but just to see.
I was gonna say
We ain't get no hecklers tonight, none of that.
They ain't been
They ain't been heckling.
No nothing.
Okay. No sweat. Well, with that, where the security announcements at? All right, here. With that, I'll pass the class over to Trooper Kakam Ahmad. Clap it up for him.
We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street of New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
Ooh-wee.
The memorial of blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month, Wednesday, 2nd October 2024. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. It's like, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And I will pass the class back to Chris and Officer Shamar of 500.
All right, with that, we're going to a module. Module, Mrs. Stan. Yeah, you said, sis. All right, we give a courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel, Module Shabbat, Module, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, brother Thug. All right, Yahweh Matah. Sorry, current faces, sisters rise. All right, men of Israel, Module Shabbat, Module, Barak, Yahweh Shem, brother Thug, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Most High in Christ. All right, y'all to the top. Class dismissed. Clap it up. Tell them, Khan.